Paul stopped. Did you know you can find scriptures where Paul eventually finished his race? We don't know how long the thorn in the flesh remained with Paul. We see Paul arguing with Barnabas, fighting over Mark, but then later in his life using Mark in his ministry. How about that? In the same area that Paul is referring to Mark in a positive way, as he refers to him as finished his race. And apparently Mark had finished his race too, because Mark was useful and not abandoning them in ministry work like he did. And that's why Paul was upset. Paul said, I'm not there yet in Philippians chapter 3. In 2 Timothy, he said, I finished my race. That's our prayer, that God would let us finish our race. That's our prayer, that God would not hastily reject us, but be patient. Be patient with us. Very few people, I think, talk about how Paul actually did grow up and finish his race. When he says, I finished my race, let's look at that scripture just so we know where we're at. I have fought the good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. There you go. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness. Because in Philippians 3, he has not attained to it yet. If by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead, not as though I had already attained this. Either we're already perfect. He is not claiming to be perfect here, but he went around telling people to be perfect. You can find scriptures where Paul says, be perfect, be perfect, be perfect, right? And at the same time, Paul claims that he's not perfect. So you can see that there is a confession taking place with Paul. Paul's not going around claiming to be something that he's not. He's recognizing his weaknesses. He wrote about the thorn in his flesh and the reason why God gave him that thorn. It's clearly expressed in scriptures how immature he was, speaking foolishly in his own letters. He confesses that I shouldn't say these things, but I'm going to write them anyway. That's the attitude behind it. I speak foolishly now, so bear with me, he says. He's not perfect yet, but I follow after. This is the part